only 1% of cops are bad. Let's think about this. If only 1% of cops are bad, how could there be that much of a police force to do what we see being done to Americans all across the country every single day? How could they extract $6 billion a year from civil asset forfeiture and other theft from the tax cattle? How could 3,086 sheriffs sign on to Sheriff Jim Skinner's National Sheriff's Association demanding that Dan Crenshaw not sign H.R. 1525, which would extremely and severely limit civil asset forfeiture? If only 1% of cops are bad, you would think one sheriff would step forward in one county in America and go, no, Sheriff Skinner, we ain't on board with this. This isn't about the Mexican drug cartels. This is about terrorizing Americans. So I want to go over this video right here because it's very instructive. This comes from Daily Exotics or Daily Driven Exotics. They have 3.91 million, almost 4 million subscribers. And apparently they're a popular target of this particular Costa Mesa motorcycle cop, and they've had a run-in with him before. But I want you to hear what the Daily Driven Exotic says about his positive outlook concerning law enforcement. And let me just say, this idea that only 1% of cops are bad and 99% are good, that's what gives these cops power to continue doing what they're doing in an unconstitutional fashion as they harass us and collect from us. Listen to this.
You kept insisting that the piece of paper you gave me had both. I go, I don't see it.
That's what I thought it was.
Okay, well then don't think. That's when people get into trouble, when they start thinking.
Really?
So you never gave me.
That's your advice, don't think.
Okay, yeah, don't think.
Yeah, don't think, because that's what I do. That's what order followers do. Order followers don't think, they just do what they're told, regardless of if what they're told is right or not. So that was back in 2019. Now in 2024, he gets harassed again by the same officer for another reason. But watch the cop, number one, lie to him, and number two, watch the grace and positivity that Daily Driven Exotics. I don't know what the guy's name is. If you know what his name is, put the name in the chat and I'll call him by his name. But look how positive he is toward police, to the point where only 1% of them are bad.
Hello. See your license, please?
Yeah, sure.
It's not because of your loud exhaust.
Yeah, it's loud, isn't it?
It's a little too loud.
There you go.
I stopped you because you're loud exhaust. Who does loud exhaust really harm? Once the car goes by, you can tell this guy is driving a high dollar car that was built this way. Who is it harming to go by in the middle of the day? Now, night might be a different story. You know, you're driving through this neighborhood, people are trying to sleep. You're disturbing a whole lot of peace here. But during the day on an open highway in Costa Mesa, don't you have something better to do, Mr. Motorcycle Cop? Aren't there murders happening? Aren't there crimes being committed all over your city? And you've got time to waste your time and resources messing with a guy in a nice car?
Okay, look for the registration and insurance.
Yeah, it's right here. Loud exhaust. Well, loud exhaust. I understand. This car's not quiet, so we'll see. Maybe there's like a municipality ordinance thing that he gave me a ticket for. But this car's not from here, so he gave me a ticket for it being too loud because it's from California. Maybe you didn't know it wasn't from California until they pulled me over. We'll find out. He's pretty chill. He's got to admit, though. I got to see if I can get him to admit that it sounds good. It does sound good. Let's see if we can get him.
So apparently, according to people in the room, this guy's name is Damon. And I disagree with Damon here. The cop is not chilled. The cop just pulled you over, jeopardized your life because he's a psychopath with a gun. And now he's going to hold you hostage until he gets done writing your ticket. And it's not just a ticket for loud exhaust. He's going to make up another charge of speeding. And this guy is from British Columbia, Canada. And he has a license plate from Canada. So people in Canada, people with Canadian cars and Canadian license plates don't have to abide by California traffic law.
To admit it sounds good. Yes, loud, but it sounds good. V12 Lamborghini? Come on. Who doesn't love a V12 Lamborghini sound?
We'll find out in a minute.
What's really interesting is he asked me for my license, but then my insurance and my registration. But then he walked away.
Keep taking.
Harleys are exempt. Harleys are some of the loudest vehicles on the roadways.
Pictures right now of the exhaust.
Well, that's fine. How is it if you're from another country where we don't have the law, you know, for decibel limits in Alberta? So it's like, or like having to deal with the emission stuff. So it's like, I wonder what is the law here, where it's like if you're a tourist and you're driving your car down here, what is or isn't allowed? Because like in Florida, you can have all sorts of different vehicles insured for the road. So if someone from Florida drives to California, it's
Right.
like you're not allowed to bring your car here if it's legal in Florida but not legal here.
That's a good point, because like here in Oklahoma, you don't have to get your vehicle smogged. So if an Oklahoma vehicle drives into California where you have to get your vehicle smogged, do they stop you and say, no, you got to get your vehicle smogged before you enter the geographic location known as California?
Like, where would they tell you that? They don't tell you at the state line. We just drove actually from here to Arizona and back, and there's no signs, no checkpoints that say these are the laws, these are what you have to do with your vehicle. The law really states that if you have a car here in California and you're registering it, you are to follow the laws here. So you can't even get the car registered or anything here unless it passes smog and all that sort of stuff. So here you can ask.
Hey, can I get the Huntington Beach address?
Pardon me?
It's not taking the British Columbia.
What's not?
It's not taking this for some reason.
What do you mean?
Is your Huntington Beach address or no?
I don't have a Huntington Beach address.
Okay.
I have my Canadian address.
Okay.
What's the issue?
Yeah, it doesn't. It's not taking it. This is all computers. I should do a paper one.
No, but what's the issue with the car? What's the issue with the car?
The loud exhaust.
Yeah, but it's not from here.
The cop snubs him several times. The cop as a man, supposedly, does not treat this other man as a man. He's completely snubbing him. He knows he has the authority. He's extremely short with him. He's extremely rude with him.
So this officer, I think this officer is, and it is. Remember the guy who yelled at me and told me not to think?
Well, then don't think. That's what people get into trouble when they start thinking. You understand?
Really?
So you
Don't
you
think.
never gave me.
That's your advice. Don't think.
Okay, yeah, don't think.
Is that him?
That's him.
No.
Yeah, that's him.
Oh, so we're in Costa Mesa right now then.
Yeah, still.
What? I thought I recognized him. Bro, so serendipitous. It is him.
He's just pulling us over because he knows who we are. And
Yep.
he's just being he's just being that guy. So
Yeah, it's a retaliatory stop. This guy is being an A ... hole.
this is the 1% police officer.
Okay, this right here is what I wanted to hone in on, because this is what gives bad cops their power. Because everybody thinks that nearly every cop out there is good. Guys, there is no way it could possibly be. That is a fictional scenario, as fictional as believing that somebody has a higher claim over your life and property than you. Listen to this guy's mentality and understand that the reason cops act like they do is because of the mentality that we're about to see displayed by Damon from Daily Driven Exotics.
So this is the 1% police officer who wants to use their power in a way to just annoy people for any little thing. This is the 1% officer that makes the other 99% who are actually out there dealing with real stuff look bad.
And to be fair, and to be very clear, when we were driving, we were...
Before he gets in it, I'm just going to listen to this again. Just let this sink in.
The other 99%. This is the 1% officer that makes the other 99% who are actually out there dealing with real stuff look bad.
And they don't even say, this is the 10% who make the 90% look bad. This is the 20% who make the 80% look bad. They pick the lowest whole number to say this 1% makes the other 99% look bad. How do you even get those kind of figures? How do you do that kind of calculation? It's completely dishonest. You're being dishonest with yourself, because when you see a SWAT team raid a Dennis Tuttle's house for no freaking reason, when you see an armed gang, bottleneck the hallway of the La Quinta Inn and, off Daniel Shaver, when you see not one cop on the scene during the death of Eric Garner, when you see the two cops mocking Karen Garner as she's being brutalized, 72-year-old Karen Garner, and then the sergeant comes up, Sergeant Metzger, and does nothing about it. Oh, is that your blood on there? No, that's her blood. And they all have a joke, all joking about it. There's not even 0.5% of good. There's not even 0.01% of good cops on the scene. But somehow they pull a rabbit out of their hat, and hey, it's only this 1% that makes the other 99% of American protect and serve cops look bad. It's ridiculous.
And to be fair, and to be very clear, when we were driving, we were in traffic. It's busy on this street, so we weren't revving or ripping around. It was very just driving normal. So he saw the car and then found a reason to pull it over.
He could also hear it. I mean, the car sounds amazing. It's not super quiet.
No, but it wasn't like you were doing a full gear pull. You were driving.
No, I wasn't being obnoxious.
Cars, right?
Not being obnoxious at all. Just cruising. But definitely way louder than any of this stuff.
And what are you supposed to do anyway if you get a ticket? Let's say the ticket cost you $100, and then you go back and drive down the road in the same vehicle with the same exhaust because that was stock with this Lamborghini. Are you supposed to, dig deep down in your pockets and get this whole thing changed?
Correct.
The difference, though, is that this car doesn't need to abide by the laws here because it's not from here. Just like a Florida car or a Utah car or a car from New York coming here, if their state rules are different than California's rules, a car doesn't need to follow the rules here. It can still come here and drive around.
Does he have your insurance papers or anything?
No.
So
He's got my license plate.
Interesting.
He knows who we are.
The last pullover, he told you had too many numbers on your address or whatever. Remember that?
I've never heard of Canada called Canuckistan. Canuckistan. Skunky butt. That's hilarious. This guy's from Canada. And yeah, they say cops are way worse. Man, they're just bad everywhere.
There's too many numbers on here. Wait, it's too many numbers.
Too many numbers. I was driving the F12 back then.
Too many numbers.
Excuse me?
Way too many numbers.
Look,
What is?
This thing. It's got too many numbers, the address.
According to the police officer, there's too many numbers.
What color is your hair?
Sorry, me?
What color is your hair?
It's brown.
What color are your eyes?
Green.
By the way, you don't have to answer any of these questions. This is another thing that really gets under my skin. This cop is coming up asking all these questions. What does the color of my hair and the color of my eyes and my height and my weight have anything to do with this traffic stop? Please explain that to me, officer. Am I legally required to answer your questions here? Am I supposed to cooperate with an investigation of myself?
How tall are you?
6 foot.
And your weight?
My weight? Well, it's the new year, so it's a new me. I'm trying to get down. I think I'm 215.
And your date of birth?
January 30th, 1979. All that information should be on my license.
It's not.
It's not?
It's 3 kilograms and
Oh, kilos. Gotcha.
I don't.
So,
Let me see the registration.
yeah, sure. So what's the issue with the car being a bit louder? It's from Canada, so it's a tourist car. It's not from here. So what would the ticket be for?
Look, watch him he's just blowing him off. Just blowing him off. Acting like the guy's not even there. It's his job to be a servant, supposedly. But he's just completely ignoring him.
Which model is this?
It's a Murcielago. So what what was interesting was he said, can you use my Huntington Beach address? I don't understand that.
Is this vehicle registered to you?
It's
Not even acknowledging what the guy's saying. Pisses me off, man.
registered to the corporation in
You want to shake him and just go, do you hear what I'm saying? You're supposed to be serving and protecting me. What's wrong with you? What's wrong with these people?
Alberta. So it's an Alberta car. It's got Alberta plates. You saw that, right?
They're covered. I don't know what state.
Can't even hear what he's saying. When he talks, you can't even hear what he's saying.
You know,
And then later on, he comes back to the car with his radio turned way up, and the driver of the car has to say, "Hey, could you turn that down so we could have a conversation?"
no, now it's got Alberta registration. Yeah. Pardon me?
This is part of the company.
Yes. So what's the issue though? Like an out of state car driving here is just like a noise violation. What's the ticket? What's the ticket for?
014 November.
What's the ticket for?
I'll show you when I get done with this.
Oh, okay.
This is a man who just wants control. Some measure, some level of control. Even if it's just, I'm going to ignore this guy because I'm going to show him I have power. I'm not going to answer his questions because I'm going to show him I'm the authority here. Janice Kowalski says, law, land, air, and water, they create policies and regulations, but not laws. They can't create land, air, and water. By definition, they can't create law. Yeah, and all law is the opinions of politicians backed by the threat of force. And who initiates that force from the politicians? Who puts teeth on those so-called laws? The law enforcers, because government is not eloquence. It's not reason. It is force. And like fire, it's a dangerous servant and a fearful master. You can put the most cowardly, the most low IQ, the most immoral people behind that badge, and they will do exactly what they're told. And they'll even go beyond what they're told to do just so they can get one over on you because they can. Because that's the mental illness of Americans and all throughout the world, that these guys have the right to push us around. These guys have the right to pull us over. These guys have the right to ignore us when we're trying to talk to us. They have the right to give you a ticket and economically terrorize you for something that they completely made up out of their pea-brain minds. What the heck?
Thank you.
Without admitting guilt, I need you to sign here.
Yeah, so what's the ticket for?
Once you sign, I'll explain everything to you.
You won't explain it to me before I sign it? That seems a little unfair, don't you think?
A loud muffler.
Pardon me?
Loud muffler.
What? So, I don't understand though, I want to know the law. So, how is it that the law is...
So you sign here because you're kind of...
Pardon?
You guys know you have condensation.
Now, note what this cop does. He does not answer the questions. He's telling this guy to sign this ticket that he just wrote up. And he's saying, no, explain to me exactly what I'm signing. I'm not just going to put my John Hancock on something when I don't know what I'm signing.
He's not in trouble, dude. I'm just telling you have condensation in your...
Oh, yeah, that's not the car.
Understand the
Thank you.
law.
You startled me there. I wasn't sure you were there the whole time.
Dude, I'm sorry. I was just telling you have condensation in your tail light.
Appreciate it. Thank you. So what's the ticket for? What's it? No, I understand that. So is it a fine or do I?
I'm warning you on the speed. So
Sorry, you're warning me on the what? Yes, I'll sign it, but I need you to explain to me what the...
recorded right now. Okay, you're kind of delaying my duty. Just going to sign.
No, I understand, but you're asking me to sign something I don't understand.
Look at this. He's not getting what he wants, so he's basically throwing a fit. He's doing it in a cool, calm way. He's not raising his voice, but he's still throwing a fit like a chubby little kid who's not getting his popsicle in the middle of the summertime.
I didn't mean to scare you, dude. I was just trying to tell you. I didn't know if you knew or not.
I appreciate it. Can you explain the ticket to me?
He's asking me to sign, but not saying what the ticket's for. He's asking questions, but he's not explaining it.
I just got here, so I have no idea why he pulled you over. I literally just driving down the street. I saw he's out here, so I just...
Appreciate that. Maybe go talk to him, because now he's walked away.
And the cop's not going to do it. He's not going to walk away and get with this officer and find out what he pulled him over there. What's the charge? What's on the ticket? He's asking. He's not going to be the liaison between this driver and passenger and the cop who just wrote him the ticket. He's just going to say, he's going to use the excuse, I just got here. I don't know what's going on. I don't know. I'm just going to let him continue to detain you while I sit here with no knowledge about what's going on. Good job, officer. Good job. Another 1%er, eh, Damon? Another 1%er.
I just want to know what I'm signing. He won't explain it to me.
Is it food talk?
What? It's a Murcielago.
Murcielago? Nice, dude. What year?
2003.
Here we go.
I just want to know what the ticket's for. You're saying loud exhaust, but I want to know, like, okay, so is it a fine? I don't understand.
The court handles that.
No, I understand the court handles that, but I need to understand, if you're pulling me over, why have I done anything wrong if I'm from another country? Like, my car is legally allowed to be here. When I come here, I'm not told it can't be a certain loudness, it can't be a certain thing. So you're saying something's wrong with my car, I did something wrong, and I'm asking you, okay, can you turn the radio down a little?
So I can hear it. Hold on, I can't hear it.
It's hard to have a conversation with you if you want to give me a ticket for something.
He has no desire to turn it down. As a matter of fact, it sounds like the volume on the radio is higher than it was when he first went over there, and he did it on purpose so that it could interfere with the conversation, so he could get this guy to just sign this because that's what he wants to do. Now, you notice he hasn't said anything about speeding yet. It's only a loud exhaust, and it's only a warning. But watch this. He's lying. This cop is lying.
There's no traffic.
This has nothing to do with being unprofessional. This cop is purposely engaged in deceiving this driver into signing a ticket without the cop telling him what he's signing.
So I understand you're saying loud exhaust, but how is it a car from Canada is breaking the law?
4442, can you do it, please?
Please sign here.
I know, but so the ticket.
He's any question that he asks, he just evades. No, just sign here. Just sign here. Just sign here. And the cop has the mentality of, I would have just signed there. I just do what I'm told. And we already saw from the very first part of this video, when 2019, when he was pulled over, the cop is saying, hey, just do what you're told. Just shut up and do what you're told. Don't think, just do what you're told. Just obey.
What's the ticket for, though? Do I have to fix it? Do I have to pay a fine?
44442,
Pardon me?
there's 148, 140.
What do you mean that's for the
Up to the court. Up to the court. That's all. It's up to the court. He's not even making any kind of advancement toward being audible. He's not even attempting to want to be heard. And he's not at all listening to this guy driving this Lamborghini.
court?
It's up to the court to decide. You know, you explain to them that it's.
But you're not telling me what the ticket's like actually gonna do. What do you mean that's what the court's gonna decide?
Well, explain to them that the vehicle doesn't belong here, or it's not.
No, the vehicle belongs here.
The vehicle doesn't. Look,
Canadian cars not allowed to come to the United States?
this cop, man.
Are Canadian cars not allowed to come here?
Look. This is so freaking Twilight Zone weird, man. This cop. Look at this cop. He's not getting what he wants. He's encountered somebody far more intelligent than him. The cop is not used to somebody pushing back and asking questions so that he can respond to him. He's not used to engaging in logic, and therefore he wants to disengage in the conversation and just stand there all stoic like a statue, like nothing was even said, like a child would do. It's not appropriate, and of course it's not professional, but this is something that an authoritarian will do because he wants to exercise power over you. When he doesn't get the power he always expects from everybody else, he clams up into his shell. He doesn't want to talk. He doesn't want to say anything. He keeps his audio decibel level low. He turns his radio up. He doesn't answer questions. He ignores completely.
To come to the United States? Are Canadian cars not allowed to come here? Really? Like, you're not going to answer any of my questions? So I'm reading right here, code, loud muffler, speed visual estimation. So what's the speed visual estimation? What, pardon me? Well, you just said that you're writing me a ticket for a loud exhaust, but now you're saying there's a speed thing on here. So you're trying to sneak something else on here.
Now
And
watch
you're trying
this.
to get me to sign something.
Where do we draw the line on this one?
I don't. What do you pull them over for?
Speeding and loud exhaust.
But you just said just loud exhaust.
I mean, he's delaying my duties right now.
He's delaying my duties. Well, good. Maybe your duties need to be delayed if your duties are being ignorant and committing basically roadside piracy for no freaking reason. Maybe your duties need to be delayed. And maybe the other cop, if he was part of the 99%, or is he part of the 1%, Damon? Because I'm thinking he's part of the 1%, but if he was the 99%, wouldn't he be saying, come on, loud exhaust? Look, it's a 2003 Lamborghini with stock exhaust pipes. What are you doing? We got bigger fish to fry. What's going on? And what do you mean he was speeding? Can you prove that? But the other, do you realize how much of a hero you would come off as if you were a cop who's actually going to bat for your fellow Americans and against the thin blue line? But because there's not the 99%, I doubt you'll ever see that. Yeah, we saw that one little ponytail cop who grabbed that sergeant's belt and brought him back when he was abusing that person that they had in handcuffs in the back of the car. But how many people did she abuse before she arrived on the scene? How many people has she abused since that incident? People look at this one incident and they isolate it and they go, see, there's part of the 99%. She's a hero. She stood up to that cop and stood against all the forces of evil in her department. Did she really, though? I mean, like, what's her record? How much is she getting paid? How many people has she pulled over? How many people are sitting in a cage because of her? He should have called a sergeant. He should have called a sergeant. He should not have signed that thing.
You have until the 25th of March to take care of this.
Look, he got what he wanted. Now he's being more audible because he got what he wanted. He can stop throwing his little fit. Ha ha, you complied with my demands. That makes me really happy inside.
If you don't agree with the citation.
Almost 500 viewers in here, guys. There's 236 likes on my screen. Let's see if we can get it. If you like this video, if you like these comments, let's see if we can get it up to 300. I appreciate it.
You can go to court. And, I will respond. We'll the judge make a decision, okay?
I think what we'll do is we'll go talk to your superiors. Have a good day. Yeah, later.
Wow.
All right. What detachment is he from?
So he is Costa Mesa Police Department.
Find me that address, please.
Okay. So yeah, you did get a speeding ticket.
All right. So I'm bringing my ticket to the office that officer's from because I want to explain that one. He wasn't explaining to me, as you guys could see, what my ticket was for. He said loud exhaust, but then I could see on the ticket there was more, and I kept asking him, well, what's it for? And then I could see, well, what's this? And he's like, well, estimated speed too. He was trying to get me to sign the ticket without explaining to me what the whole ticket was really about. So he's being very misleading on purpose. Torres, the officer, also has a history of like harassing people. Once I recognized him, we know a lot of people in the car community down here that he basically does this where he like tries to like fudge and basically push his power onto people in the car community. So I'm gonna go and talk to someone, and I might even go as far as filing a complaint. But this is what you can do if you feel like you're being pushed around or bullied, or you've gotten a ticket for something you shouldn't have got, like legitimately you shouldn't have got. Now listen, loud exhaust for sure. One, I actually wasn't speeding. We were in traffic, as Dave said. We were driving through. We were doing exactly the speed limit in the city. So his visual estimation, that's just him throwing something on there that he has zero evidence, zero proof of, which I have a problem with.
Yeah, and I have a problem with it too because it was a downright lie. He lied about probably both things. He wanted to target this guy. He's had a run-in with him before. This cop is I can't remember his name, Garcia or whatever. He's probably jealous of this guy's affluence and the nice cars that he drives, and he wanted to get another shot at becoming popular on the internet. I don't know. But I do know this. I know that power corrupts and absolute power corrupts absolutely. And this guy succumbed to the power to the point where you don't even treat your fellow human beings with dignity and respect in answering their questions as you're committing roadside piracy on them. Yeah, everybody should have a huge problem with that. And I've got kind of a problem. If Damon from Daily Driven Exotics, and that's the channel we were looking at, if he is a bootlicker, and he's got almost 4 million subscribers, then he's not doing his fellow Canadians or us Americans any good by, bowing down and complying and have the mentality that it's only 1% bad cops and 99% of them are great. It's not good. So I would just say, if Damon watches this video, hey man, wake up. Let's have a discussion. Let's talk about how bad cops are. Watch a couple of my videos, watch a couple of these auditing videos. And when a whole group of cops, like when Tyrant Terminator Audits is in that one place doing an audit, there's like 11, 12, 13 cops that show up. Not one cop steps forward and goes, wait a second, this guy is clearly not a threat to anybody. This guy is absolutely exercising a right that we all swore to protect and defend. What the heck is going on here? Why does not one cop out of 13 stand up and say, hey, what's going on? You would think that if there was 10% good cops, at least one or two of those guys would stand up and go, come on, guys. Why was I even called to this? This is a guy with a camera in a public place. Let's get out of here. But you don't see it. You don't see it. When cops arrive at the scene, they only go with what the last cop said or the cops who were on the scene said, instead of trying to figure out what's actually going on. What do you mean you got this guy cuffed behind his back when he was just trying to gather content for this public interest story right here? That doesn't make any sense to me. That's antithetical to what you said you would do in your oath, that you would protect and defend the Constitution of the United States. But here's the rub right here. And here's how you can say all of them. Every one of them are bad because they took an oath to violate your rights. What do you mean? They took an oath to protect and defend the Constitution? No. They didn't just take that oath. They took an oath to protect and defend the Constitution and the laws of the state. So if the state's laws conflict with anything in the Bill of Rights, they're going to come and enforce that law. That is absolutely hypocritical. That's cementing yourself in cognitive dissonance. That's doing evil to your neighbor when you wouldn't want evil done to you. And they're all doing it under their oath. That's how they can sleep at night, because they actually feel like, hey, I fulfilled my oath. I enforced the state law. I enforced what the Supreme Court said. Well, what if the Supreme Court says something that's contradictory to the law? What if the state says something that's contradictory to the Fourth Amendment? Then what are you supposed to do? Any law that's repugnant to the Constitution is what? Null and void. That's what they should be doing, but they don't. So I appreciate you guys stopping by. Real quick, I am going to start, because a lot of people are saying, hey, why don't you fire up your High Impact Flicks channel again? Because if I do, I fire it up, then they're going to just take another one down, because they've already taken 5 of my channels down. But what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to probably do live streams on my Rumble channel. It seems a little bit safer over there, and there's a lot of political critiques that I really want to do with all the stuff going on with Donald Trump. I don't know if you saw, but they just recently laid an $83 million verdict against him with this Jean Carroll thing, Jean Carroll deal. $83.3 million against judgment against Donald Trump. What do I think about it? I think you know what I think about it. It is all a dog and pony show. You've got Tom McDonald, who just came out with a rap called something called I can't remember what it's called. Let's see. Here it is. Tom McDonald. It's called Facts, and he's doing this with Ben Shapiro. You know whose side Ben Shapiro is on. It's not your side. It's not my side. It's Israel's side. So there's some crazy stuff going on. This is a constant 24-hour day, 7-day a week psychological operation to get us to believe that government, that authority is somehow legitimate, and that the political process is somehow legitimate, and the political parasites are somehow on your side, and they're your representatives under the flag of we the people. So, let me know what you guys think about this. I'm going to start this. Tomorrow is going to be a live stream with Owen Benjamin, because apparently I made him mad because I called him out on his crazy comment that the government is not effing with you. Here, there, right there in the comment section is my Rumble channel. If you want to visit that, this live stream is going to be tomorrow. That's Saturday, the 27th at 4 p.m. Central Standard Time, which is 5 p.m. Eastern and 2 p.m. Pacific. So if you guys want to be there, I'd really appreciate it. That's the link in the room. I'll put it in there again in case you just missed it. But just a couple of real quick recaps on what Owen Benjamin was saying. Number one, this is a quote from Owen Benjamin. The government isn't a problem. It's always your own sin. That's what it is. End quote. Number two, the government is never effing with you. Never, ever. Never, ever, Daniel Shaver. Never, ever, Kevin Strickland. Never, ever, Schaefer Cox. Never, ever, all you thousands of people who are locked behind a cage right now because of the mentality of government. Number three, this is an Owen Benjamin quote again. The government is not sitting behind a bush waiting to pounce. Okay, maybe not literally, but they're there. And they have a surveillance apparatus set up against you. And that's not being paranoid. What was it Bloom said? He said, however conspiracy-minded or paranoid you might be, you have no idea how evil the government actually is or the plans that they have against you. Something to that effect. Number four, if there was no government, would you even hire people on your farm? Because, the government keeps us safe. You can't just go out there and hire people because the government is holding everybody at bay. Number five, we're facing despair, not the goddamn government, he said. We're not facing the government at all. They're not, it's a figment of your imagination that they're trying to take 40% of your income. Despair agents say the government's never been more tyrannical, and he says quote, there's never been less tyranny from the government. Tyranny comes from your own sin. There's never been less tyranny in the government. The military-industrial complex has never been bigger. They've never been richer. The political parasites in Washington's district of criminals have never been more powerful. There's never been such a surveillance apparatus. They can read your license plate from some satellite, whether it's in space or on a balloon. They can read your license plate. The Google car is constantly going all over the place recording stuff. You think that's just for their mapping software? Oh, right. Okay. Owen Benjamin contends that he's only been taken down from corporate media, not from government. Well, I got news for you. It's already been revealed through Julian Assange and WikiLeaks that Google, YouTube, Yahoo has all been working. Twitter has all been working with the government all along. He says, he said to me privately, isn't it weird how many ANCAPs are Nazis? You can't be an anarchist and be a Nazi, just like you can't be a Christian and an atheist. And then he said, the free market doesn't want solutions. Those are just some of the quotes that I have against Owen Benjamin. People are like, why are you coming out against Owen Benjamin? Well, because Owen Benjamin is polluting the world with thoughts that keep us enslaved. And I got a real issue with that. I got a real problem with that. So if you guys think it's an okay idea, or if you want to join me on some live streams on Rumble, let me know. And the reason I'm choosing Rumble or maybe even Twitter, which is now called X, is because I'm not seeing the censorship. I'm not seeing the censorship go on those platforms like I see it go on this platform right here. So if you want to engage in that, if you think it's a good idea, put a 1 in the room. And here's the Rumble link again. If you guys want to be in there, it might be it might be a pretty interesting live stream tomorrow because some pretty ugly things are being said and some pretty crazy things are going on behind the scenes, and you'll see about that tomorrow. Rumble sound is not good. Benjamin Who says no mask. Randy Simmons says, I'm glad we got cops. Yeah, Eric Garner and Karen Garner and Daniel Shaver are glad we have cops too. Oh, wait a second. They can't be glad anymore. They're not with us. How about Johnny Wheatcroft? I need a lozenge. Johnny Wheatcroft. I mean, without government, who would tase you in the private parts 11 times in front of your screaming kids? Without government, who would treat you like they just treated this guy with Daily Driven Exotics? Who would treat you like that? It's crazy stuff. Crazy. Henry said he wanted to talk to me. If anybody wants to reach out to me, can't be a Christian and anarchistic. Yeah, because it's no rulers, including the ruler in the sky. That's a good point. If you guys want to get in touch with me, contact at highimpactflix.com is probably the best way to do it. The only problem is I get inundated with so many emails. It's impossible to keep up. This is the most unproductive chat I've seen in a long while. I don't know what's going on in the chat. I've just started looking at it. FTP and politicians, we don't need them. Sharon, for April 2011 to present. Yeah, that's Sharon. They got, that's in Mexico. They got rid of the politicians and the local police. My super chat is being blocked. Truth be spoken said. Let me see. The only super chat I have is £5 from Janice Kowalski. If you guys want to support the channel and you don't want to pay the 40% usury fee from the YouTube platform, there is an alternative. I have, and I appreciate the support, guys. You don't have to, especially if you can't afford to support this channel, please don't. Take care of your kids. If you have extra and you want to support, then, you know, I of course it's appreciated. This is how I put food on my family's table. So if you wanted to sidestep that, you can do Buy Me a Coffee or Subscribe Star. But I'll put the Cash App there if you want to take a look at it. That's my Cash App. And you know, actually that's preferable not only for me but also for you, because if I'm going to give a content creator $10, I don't want a platform to take $4 from it. If I give you $100, I don't want $40 to go to them. And as far as I know, I think Cash App is like 2 or 3%, not 40%. It's literally, YouTube takes 10 times more than Cash App or Stripe or Buy Me a Coffee or those other ones.